We talk about inertia and how it stagnates a people. But yet and still, this country struggles because it defrays attention away from itself into the violence that we see that happens in the street, and fail to realize that the two biggest gangs in America that we deal with is not the Bloods or the Crips or the Sir 13. It's the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. Anytime you can go against right for wrong because of a friend, or you can go against right or wrong because of an affiliation. That's what gangs do. And until we come together, bipartisan, side by side, black and white, Republican and Democrat, we're not going to never eliminate things like inertia. And inertia is a very serious thing, and it's alive and it's well. Because see, when Isaac Newton talked about inertia, and he used the example of a train, it's one thing. But when you look at inertia from a psychological standpoint in a group of people who become stagnant, you're talking about people who are void of hope. People who don't have the faith to believe that they're able to overcome the obstacles and the problems and the barriers that lie in front of them. It's up to us to fight inertia. Everybody that got eyes that can see and ears that work and mouths that talk don't mean that you're alive. Some of us are dead in a doorknob. And we're so out of touch until those of us who get in the gutter and try to fight inertia struggle and fight hard. And sometimes get hit in the face, but you got to get up and you got to keep fighting. I'm not going to take longer than the 20 minutes that I was told to take, but I did tell Brother Jones, I said, man, you give me a topic like this, and you say 20 minutes, man, it's like putting the shackles back on me, man. 20 years ago, you got to, take the shackles off. And let's have a candid conversation about what we can do to impact inertia, not just in the black community, but in all communities. Let's talk about inertia and what it does when we say the black community. And I like to take the word black community and put on top of it and say the impoverished communities or the poor communities. People are deceived and they're so distraught from not having until they lose faith in the system. And then we question, why won't they get out and vote? Brother Don, inertia. They stagnant. Why should I? What's going to change? People in the lower community have been disappointed so much until they believe that they have to find a way to survive on their own terms. So they create their own ways. And what you live in and learn in and grow in, that's what you become. Products of inertia. Now, when we look and see how out of touch people are in the upper levels of society, I've talked to people in the past couple years and some of the development projects that we're trying to do to create a program for homeless individuals who are so out of touch until they can't believe that in Muskegon County on any given day, there's about 2,500 homeless people, chronic homeless people, on any given day or night. They're out of touch with reality. We have issues to where people make millions and millions of dollars on those who go into dialysis centers and refuse to pay $60,000 for a backup generator because they don't have to, because the government said it's not a regulation. Don't worry whether or not it's a people's thing. They don't have to do it. They're out of touch. They don't know what it's like to have a loved one to be on dialysis and you're called in the middle of a session, and when the machine breaks down, all of the blood that they took out, they're trying to wash with bleach. Somebody's going in and trying to hand pump it back into their system. They're out of touch with reality. Now, saying that to say this, inertia doesn't just impact poor people or black people, but it impacts rich people too. And sometimes all of us get stuck on stupid, waiting on dumb. And when you can get caught into a situation to where, you refuse to move and you get stagnated by your position, you're in a state of inertia. What does it profit you to gain the whole world and lose your soul? The bottom line is this, and I'm not going to preach, but the bottom line is this. If we want to do away with inertia, all of us, each one must reach one. All of us must learn from whence we came. All of us must go back to the moral values that once made this a great country. And all of us must have the moral fortitude to reach out to that young man or that young woman that's struggling. Instead of talking about them, help them. All of us must look at the opportunity we have in mentoring someone that's less fortunate than what we are. There's a lot of things we can do for inertia, but we have to have the courage to stand up, be accounted for, and do the right thing, and don't worry about whether or not my affiliation says that you're going to help this person, I'm going to disown you. We got a lot of work to do. And when you talk about the passion that I have, I've been toiling in this ministry for 20-some odd years. And during the holidays, when I sit down and eat and I look at my wife and I see 5 or 6 homeless babies around the table, I wonder, how can people be festive while in this county alone you got 2,500 chronically homeless people roaming around?